I'm Becca, I take tech outside, and for the last 2 weeks, I've had a camera created by a not-so-trustworthy company attached to my third eye.
Got the nice fit on, the crazy glasses.
From Broadway to biking, driving to dining, inside, outside, and upside down. The new $500 Meta Oakley Vanguard AI sunglasses have seen everything I've seen, responded to my endless demands.
Okay, Meta, now take a photo.
And blared music into my ears.
All the way up. It's really loud.
But as much as I enjoy these glasses, I've not been able to escape this.
Oh wait, it's Meta.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Let's start with the good. The Oakley Meta Vanguards are a 66-gram or 0.15-pound pair of sporty-ass sunglasses. They have 2 incredibly loud speakers on the stems. That's not even as loud as they go. There are 5 microphones, one's here, and then there's 3 up in here, that together capture surprisingly good audio, so long as the glasses are on your face.
Dang, what a haul.
Although you're gonna hear a lot of your own breathing. But when they're off your face, you're gonna hear a lot more wind noise, and voices sound far away, with a bit of distortion.
If you thought it was weird to hold your camera out in front of you, just wait till you're holding a pair of sunglasses.
Yeah, these mics are made to be worn and used with Meta AI, but I'll get to that in a bit. The glasses are IP67 dust and water resistant, meaning that dust won't be a problem, and even a dip in some water should be a non-issue. But most importantly to me is this, a 12 megapixel camera located directly in the center of the frames. You see, on every other pair of Meta smart glasses, the cameras are located on either side of the frames, meaning that when you shoot something, your perspective is slightly off-centered. But with the Vanguard, since the camera's directed in the center, it is a proper POV, and the widest one at that, at 122 degrees, the widest Meta has ever provided.
Oh my god, it's a baby. Hello, little friend.
For a camera this small, the footage is incredibly stable in good light. It's punchy, with bright blues and dark shadows, and it's oh so tailored for mobile viewing, with a fixed aspect ratio and limited resolutions. Even in dimmer settings, there's enough detail to look fine on a small screen, such as your phone, though the stabilization definitely takes a hit and gets a bit more jittery. You can see it in the highlights as I pedal. This camera's comparable to something small, like the Insta360 Go 3. Great quality in good light, quality in low light, but plenty enough detail for sharing on socials. The only thing that's truly frustrating is the lack of settings. Via this deep settings menu, or via your voice, you can only choose between 1080 30 frames per second, 1080 60 frames per second, or 3K 30 frames per second. 1080 30 is by far the most versatile. It has a max recording time of 5 minutes and 3 levels of stabilization, while 1080 60 and 3K 30 top out at 3 minutes of continuous recording, and only offer medium stabilization. Here is side-by-side footage of processed versus unprocessed video, where you can see just how much digital stabilization Meta is applying. You can also see how much de-warping is happening, and also how color is processed. And lastly, there is a special mode called hyperlapse that stitches together photos to create a time lapse. What feels like is missing from these glasses, and what makes them not quite action cam ready, is any sort of live preview. In order to get to know the perspective of these, you have to use trial and error. Okay, that's not completely true. You could try going live on Instagram and streaming via the perspective of the glasses, but in my 2 weeks with them, I keep getting stuck in this update loop for an update that doesn't exist. Okay, but there's more to these glasses than just their camera. And there's also some problems here too. More on that after the break. Arrows, boxes, circles, if you have seen any of my videos, then you have seen these elements in my edits. But I have a confession to make. I 100% don't know how to use After Effects, and I have no intention of learning, which is where the sponsor of this video comes in. This is Storyblocks. It's a media subscription service that provides loads of video, photo, templates, music, and most importantly for me, animated elements and sound effects. I like to mix a sound effect with an animation, and then sometimes I put like moving backgrounds behind images just to kind of keep things moving. Yeah, voila, you got an upped edit in a matter of minutes. And you didn't have to learn how to animate to do it either. Best of all, anything you download with Storyblocks is 100% royalty-free, pre-licensed, and ready to use. There's a link down in my bio for 2 extra free months with annual plans for a limited time only. Thank you Storyblocks for sponsoring this video, but more importantly, allowing me to continue being a lazy editor. Now back to the show. Last month at a Meta keynote, Zuck laid out Meta's core principles for good smart glasses. The first was,
they need to be great glasses first.
Now, I've never reviewed just a basic pair of sunglasses before, but I feel well qualified as I own many and I love a good pair of shade blockers. And if being a good pair of sunglasses means staying on your face and blocking light, then the Vanguards are excellent. They feature Oakley Prism lenses, which the company claims fine-tune vision and optimize contrast across light and weather conditions, sure. But more noticeable than that are the nose pads. There are 3 different sizes in the box, and holy hell do they stay put. See, this is why I don't wear the Ray-Ban version of these glasses. If I keep my ears like tense, they stay up, but as soon as I like drop my ears, they slide down my face, and then all day I'm just pushing them up and up again. But with the Vanguards and their rubber nose guards, it's a non-issue, which means I'll actually use them. The lenses are also swappable, which is crucial because there's no transition lenses available, and sports don't all happen in the daylight, nor do they always happen outside. I took these to the gym because I wanted to listen to my music and I wanted to test a rock climbing POV, which did look sick, but I felt incredibly foolish wearing sunglasses inside. I can't do this. Okay, so they're great sunglasses. Now what about the second principle? Tech needs to get out of the way. So the tech that's available is of course the camera, controlled by this button, a small LED for visual cues, a virtual assistant that can utilize the camera or internet to answer questions, speakers for conversations or music, and new to these is pairing with Strava or Garmin for stats. There's this new mode called auto capture that will periodically capture content once you start a workout on a Garmin device, and then allow you to put stats over it in post. I've been testing it with the Forerunner 165 and I love it. I just wish it worked with more devices, not just Garmin devices. Though I'll add that when you are shooting a lot of video, battery takes a serious hit. I ripped through 50% battery in an hour with heavy camera use. All right, so with all that tech, does it get in the way of these just being good glasses? And the answer is no. I've spent days just wearing these as sunglasses or up on top of my head, never once talking to the assistant, never once taking a photo, and yeah, they've just been good glasses. Okay, so we're 2 for 3, and in the keynote, Zuck said that the third was this.
Take superintelligence seriously.
And this is where these glasses fall apart for me. For a company that makes wearables that have cameras and microphones and pair to other wearables that track your vitals, why is one of your principles not my privacy? When I have told anyone about the Vanguards in the last 2 weeks, I've gotten responses similar to this.
Oh wait, it's Meta.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
When you look at Meta's track record in regards to user data, awareness about harms its platforms have caused, or its role in spreading misinformation, it's bad. Like, real bad. And I wouldn't for a second believe that any of my data is actually safe with this company. And Meta hasn't done anything to make me believe that it would either. And for most techie folks like me, getting to use the latest tech toy is worth some of that hypothetical data I may be giving up. But for most rational folks, it's not. There's another piece to the privacy puzzle though, and it has a lot less to do with Meta and a lot less to do with my personal choices and everything to do with what other people will do with this device. When I was filming around New York City last week, I couldn't help but feel incredibly creepy. Here I was, filming everybody in my view, with most of them not knowing. Because at this point in time, cameras on glasses, it's not commonplace. Of course, there's a light that flashes indicating that I'm recording, but 1, most folks don't know what that means, and 2, Amazon, YouTube, Temu, they all have ways to block it. Hell, you could just put some tape on this thing, cover it with a Sharpie. Now, I believe myself to be a good person. I believe myself to be someone that you can trust your likeness with, but I sure as hell don't trust most people, and, for good reason, most people probably don't trust me. And especially given the state of the US where I live right now, oh my god. I could think of 5 malicious ways to use these glasses in a matter of minutes. Meta, of course, puts a tiny privacy reminder in the setup, this single page, but I think there should be more. Maybe a video, more than one slide, some graphics. That feels like it would just be the bare minimum. But those are just my views on privacy. I would love to read yours down in the comments. All right, that's pretty much all I got to say about the Vanguards. There's one last piece, which is every time you open the app, it's just AI slop. Meta, that's embarrassing, please. For the love of God, these are glasses. I don't want to see what everyone's making with your AI. All right, I'm Becca. As always, I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you on the next one, bud.